Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. St. Andrew man charged with brother's murder. A 25-year-old man has been charged with the stabbing death of his brother during an argument at home in St. Andrew. He is Jonathan Davis of Nicholson Square, which is located in Delacree housing scheme. Dead is 33-year-old bearer Sean Palmer. The incident happened on Sunday, July 16. The police report that around 1:20 p.m., Davis and Palmer were at home when an argument developed between them. During the altercation, Davis reportedly used a knife to stab Palmer in the upper body. Palmer then ran from the house in a bid to seek assistance, however, he collapsed. He was taken to hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. A report was made to the police and Davis was arrested. He was later charged after being interviewed in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Man charged over fatal Hanover gun attack. The police in Hanover have charged a man in relation to the shooting death of a security guard and the injury of another in a car along the Shetwood Main Road in Rambo early this month. 35-year-old Steve McDonald of Lantop in Chester Castle is charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and wounding with intent. The charges are in connection with the murder of 43-year-old Dwayne Barnes, a security guard of Awful Gully in St. James. The attack occurred on Thursday, July 6. Reports from the Lucy police are that about midday, Barnes was a passenger in a Nissan AD wagon motor car when armed men pounced upon them. It is alleged that McDonald was among the group of men who opened gunfire at the vehicle, killing Barnes and injuring another man. An investigation commenced and McDonald was arrested and charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. NWC to undertake urgent replacement of collapsed sewage mains in downtown Kingston. The National Water Commission (NWC) has been instructed to undertake an urgent replacement of the collapsed sewage mains in downtown Kingston at a cost of approximately $170 million. Water Minister Matthew Samuda made the announcement during a visit to the affected areas. He said emergency works have started. The minister outlined that the aged pipes, which are being part of the NWC system, have outlived their usefulness. He said this could lead to the dire public health issues. Mr. Samuda said he briefed Prime Minister on Holmes and he instructed that action be taken to alleviate the discomfort and unsanitary situation being experienced in the area. Meantime, another $37 million invested to be made into new pumps at the Darling Street Live Station, which are being installed within 7 days, is expected to improve significantly the situation in the Market District. Mr. Samuda explained the works to be undertaken. Remedial works will also be done along several streets.
The situation is chronic. There is no nice way to put it. The lines on West Street and Pichon Street have virtually collapsed. Now we are aware that some of these lines are over 100 years old. This problem has persisted for a long time. But what we are committing to citizens, that we have heard the cries, we understand the trauma that they have been through because of this sewage line collapse, and we are moving to address it swiftly. So shortest term, vacuum trucks on Pichon Street and in its environs actually pulling from the sewage lines to reduce sewage flow. We've also reached out to private sector individuals in the cesspool industry to give us additional support throughout the course of the night so that we're able to remove as much of the sewage as is possible to reduce flows into the market space. That is the shortest possible term. There are two other major issues. One is distribution and one is mechanical. Mechanical issue, which has been at Darling Street for some time, I'm happy to report that this week the new pumps, which are desperately needed for that facility to lift the sewage out of downtown, are actually now at Kingston Wharves and are being cleared before the end of the weekend. We expect those to be installed and completed within a week. But the distribution lines, some of them are clay, some of them are board, some of them are 100 years old. We have mobilized emergency works, which have now started, as you can see behind us. We will be doing 410 meters of West Street and 220 meters going straight into Matthews Lane, which will clear the major blocked area, which is what is backing up in the transport area and in the market. The work will be in the region of about $200 million. But I'm happy to report that despite the disaster in front of us and despite the trauma, that we're happy to report that we can actually say we have started.
More woes for cabby who kidnapped, robbed and raped. Sentenced to 38 years and 5 months in July 2021 on kidnapping, robbery and rape charges, taxi driver Dwayne Edwards received a new slate of sentences on Friday for an offense for which he had been charged and tried separately. Edwards' horrific criminal activities were carried out alongside his accomplice, Michael Swaby, who was also convicted. Edwards, who in March this year pleaded guilty to an indictment which charged him with forcible abduction, rape, and robbery with aggravation, was firstly sanctioned to 26 years and 8 months for the rape, 10 years for the robbery with aggravation charge, and 8 years for the forcible abduction charge. The sentences were ordered to run concurrently so that he will serve the longest of the sentences imposed, which would be 26 years in this instance. According to the facts of the case outlined by the prosecution, in September 2017 about 9:10 p.m., the female complainant boarded a taxi in the vicinity of Manhattan Clothing Store in downtown Kingston. Swaby was the driver of the vehicle while Edwards was seated in the back. She said the vehicle drove off after 2 other females boarded. They, however, exited the vicinity of Bustamante Hospital for Children. When they resumed travel upon reaching the Nannyville intersection, the vehicle turned off the main road and Edwards, who was seated behind the complainant, moved closer behind her and said, "Don't move." According to the evidence, Swaby then demanded money. Upon hearing that she only had $5,000, Edwards got inside the woman's blouse in search of money before taking and searching her bag, removing 2 cellular phones in the process. He further demanded her debit card and the PIN and searched her purse. She was then blindfolded and taken from the vehicle to her premises. Once there, the court heard that Swaby had sexual intercourse with her, followed by Edwards. She was then returned to the car, driven to a location and ordered to exit the vehicle. She was held to a police station by a passerby. Edwards and Swaby were in 2021 sentenced to 30 years and 9 months and 38 years and 5 months respectively by the corporate Aragon court. The two, said to be illegal taxi operators, were daunted by the testimonies of 17 witnesses, 3 of whom were complainants during a trial which started that May. Forensics evidence, video footage from surveillance cameras, call records analyzed, as well as a discarded traffic light with Swaby's name, formed part of the trail of clues that led to the downfall of the criminal for the incident which took place days apart, specifically October 31, November 18, and November 25, 2017. Swaby and Edwards have been on the police radar for several years, Swaby as early as 2014. Both following their arrest in 2018 were slapped with charges ranging from forcible abduction, rape and grievous sexual assault, assault occasioning bodily harm, assault at common law, illegal possession of firearm, and robbery with aggravation after being pointed out in identification parades. Arrangements were made for the 3 cases to be joined in the one trial given the circumstances. In the trial, which started in May, the women, 2 members of the nursing profession and another, still traumatized, gave their testimonies through tears, leaving the stand at times too distressed to continue. At least 2 of the women, reporters learned, chose to keep back their turn to the accused all the times he avoided having to look at them. Those women, in their testimonies, detail the modus operandi of the 2, who typically struck at nights using the same motor vehicle. Noel Holmes Hospital to get 4 specialist clinics. 4 specialist clinics will be added to the list of services being offered at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover. These are medical, pediatric, surgical, and neurology. At a media briefing following a tour of the hospital on July 20, Clinical Coordinator of the Western Regional Health Authority, Dr. Delroy Free, said the specialist clinics will deliver a high level and quality of care to patients in Hanover. We see the need to open special clinics here, and this will enable our patients to decide to avoid traveling all the way over into Conner Regional Hospital in St. James, he pointed out. Frey noted that the surgical clinic, which is expected to commence operation in August, is critical as the hospital received many trauma patients from road accidents along the corridor leading to Negril. They come here, and we want to have the top-level care that can stabilize these patients and move them into definite care, he stated. For his part, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton commended the work of the WRHA and the Hanover Health team and their continued efforts to make improvements. He expressed that he is comfortable that Noel Holmes is in a good place to respond to medical issues and the future. He said this will see other forms of improvements. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell